This is a technique that I've told friends about for years. I've worked as a content creator now for almost 6 years, which means a stupid amount of hours staring at a screen, being sedentary. So, as a way to break this up and stay fresh and creative, I would just do a set of push ups every 2 hours or so. Sometimes I'd mix it up and do air squats or just go outside and do some grounding and stretching. And wouldn't you know it, now science and some experts are dubbing this with an actual name, and they're calling it exercise snacks. And it makes sense, everybody wants better results with less time. And yeah, I'm sure some of you are sickos like me that genuinely love training, but we also have lives to live and responsibilities, and some days maybe a 30 to 60 minute workout isn't in the cards, whether it's a time or energy constraint. So what's the deal with the science and hype around these exercise snacks? And real quick, before I get into it, I want to be clear. I am a fan of science. I am a fan of research. I am a fan of efficiency and optimization. But there are problems even with science.
Well, actually, according to most research articles, it's proven that if you stay in the 4 to 6 rep range with an RPE of 6.475, you actually increase muscle protein synthesis by 62%. Shut up! Shut up! Whatever happened to training hard and having fun? What happened to just slapping some 45-pound plates and repping it out?
Things like the funding of studies and misaligned interests, small sample sizes, data that's not really meaningfully relevant. For example, let's say a study showed a 0.01% increase in calories burned doing the shake after each meal. Well, the headlines then become shaking after every meal now shown to boost calorie burn and eviscerate fat, and then people start thinking it's magic. And by the way, I do actually shake after every meal, but it's not to burn calories. It has to do with lymphatic drainage, but more on that in a future video. So with those science disclaimers out of the way, what do we have? First up, the no-nonsense Rhonda Patrick has said sprinkling exercise snacks throughout the day 3 times 1 to 3 minutes each has a big impact on lowering cancer and cardiovascular related mortality. She says burpees, air squats, and sprinting up the stairs.
Most people are taking advantage of everyday life. Like they have stairs every day to work. They sprint up them. They don't walk up them. They sprint. They get their heart rate up to like 75% max heart rate, 80% max heart rate. They're getting intense. And people that do this anywhere between 1 to 3 minutes a day, these guys have like a 50% lower cancer-related mortality, cardiovascular-related mortality. So my point is that the vigorous intensity, these like even short bursts of it, just consistently, like every day a little bit, like they do add up. There's additive effects and they make a difference.
Here we have a study in Exercise and Sport Science Reviews, Exercise Snacks, a novel strategy to improve cardiometabolic health. They said, we define exercise snacks as isolated under or equal to 1-minute bouts of vigorous exercise performed periodically throughout the day. We hypothesize exercise snacks are a feasible, well-tolerated, and time-efficient approach to improve cardiorespiratory fitness and reduce the negative impact of sedentary behavior on cardiometabolic health. I'm not going to read all of these key points, but go ahead and pause the video if you'd like to read them for yourself. And here's one more on PubMed for good measure. Vigorous intermittent lifestyle physical activity and cancer incidence among non-exercising adults. Findings: a minimum dose of about 3.5 minutes of vigorous intermittent lifestyle physical activity per day was associated with a 17.5% reduction in total incident cancer risk compared with no VILPA. So I think you get the picture, and if this still sounds wild to you, I just wanted to be clear, it's really not just from me. I'll say this, I think this is one of the best strategies to get sedentary people into a more active lifestyle. So if you watch this video and you find value in it, I would encourage you to share it with somebody in your life you care about that could benefit from doing something like this. And not only are there physical benefits, but the mental clarity and boost you get from a bit of blood flow and endorphins is not to be slept on. For me, if I go more than 2 hours on a task, I start to lose focus and get distracted, which is when I'll turn to a 3 to 5 minute exercise snack to break it up and recharge while also pushing my body. Now, the easiest movements to do are push-ups and air squats. Just as an example, I'll do push-ups at each break for the day. That's because I'm focused on hypertrophy right now, and and I have years of training under my belt. So if I do 7 or so sets of push-ups in a day, it's not going to be too fatiguing for me. And that's just what I prefer rather than doing 7 different exercises throughout the day. But for a beginner, I would do a different movement with each snack. And instead of every 2 hours, maybe you do something every 5 hours. So 9 a.m. to wake your body up, 2 p.m. to break up the day a bit, and then around 7 p.m., maybe after dinner, to help digest and give you some time to wind down before bed. And the way I like to do it, I'll do a static hold at different parts of the range of the push-up for about 30 to 45 seconds, and then I'll do maybe 5 or so very slow and controlled reps to get a little pump and warm up. Then I'll take a quick 20 to 30 second break, and then I'll hit as many perfect form push-ups as I can, and that's it. I get back to my day. Then I set an alarm on my watch for 1 hour from then, or 3, depending on my energy levels that day, and I'll repeat the process when the alarm goes off. And I'm telling you, the pattern interrupt and mental break you get from the task you're doing is really awesome. It's such a great reset, and without fail, I go back to my task a bit more alive and with higher energy and more focus. And you can get creative with this. You can take a 5-minute walk, you can do burpees or mountain climbers, high knees, plank to shoulder taps, whatever you want to do. Truly any movement you like doing depending on your goals. As I said, I still love to train and have a real session to get fully in the zone, but this is a great tool to have in your bag. You can use it on days you don't have the desire or the time to do a full session. You could do this for a week as a way to let your nervous system recover if you may be training too much. So this would be a way to maintain and stay active without becoming sedentary. All you'd have to do is not push as hard for each exercise snack. And of course, if you are more advanced, you can take each snack close to failure. But if you're not, just do something that feels like around 60% of max effort. And over time, this really will add up, like Rhonda said. Think about this. Let's say you did just 10 push-ups every 2 hours for 1 year. That would be about 25,550 push-ups in the year if you sleep about 8 hours a night. That's a huge number when you really think about it, and all of the energy that would be expended to execute that number. So over a lifetime, this is definitely a game changer. And again, beyond the physical benefits, this is a killer way to start tricking your mind into believing you're a fit, active person, even if you're not yet. If you can commit to this for a week, every time you pause your life to get moving, you're training your conscious and subconscious, telling it you are someone who prioritizes wellness and activity, and before you know it, you'll be leaning into the fitness world wanting more. And it's such an easy way to get started because you don't need anything and you can do this anywhere. As always, I'll answer all comments for as long as I can.